Another epiphany, another interesting concept to think about. We live in a world where everything is disconnected, where we're on our phones and we have these things in our ears and we can't even hear what's going on around us, nor are connected to the things that are close to us. So I had one of my horses was misbehaving today. One of my working students was bringing him in and going to have a lesson, and he's older, so he's having a hard time chewing, so I got him some alfalfa, and so of course he's Mr. Energizer Bunny now. So he has this energy that is pent up, and he's not really working that much because he's 26, going to be 27. And, like my theories with all horses is they all lay in the womb and are born crooked, and you're always trying to fix these problems. And some of them are more difficult than others. This particular horse was one I've raised from a baby. I learned a lot, what not to do, also what to do. And I saw him in the aisle while I was walking up to the barn, moving into my student as she had put the saddle on, which is not a good thing. And she backed out of the way, which is not a good thing. So I got to thinking, and I figured I would lead him out. So I went to lead him out, and he was being obnoxious and misbehaving. And also, as I'm going down and basically just working stops and starts to get the horse to pay attention to me, he's literally wanting to toss his body around into me and ignore me and look the other way. So that being said, we had a session. I sorted it out. But my student didn't get an opportunity to ride because there was no point. He was exhausted after. Not that it was strenuous, it just was physical. And he had to let go of some of the kinks that he had in the right base of the neck and in the shoulder and the pole. And, kind of goes through the whole body of the horse. And again, mind you, he's 26 going on 27, pretty much close to retirement. So when we got back in the barn, I said to my working student, I said, here's part of the problem. When we walk around these animals and work around these animals, and we're not in the moment with them, and we're not paying attention to them, they're going to get distracted just like we are. The problem is with their distractions could be danger zones. So if we're not paying attention to what the horse is doing and what the horse is thinking and where the horse is looking and how the horse is acting and where the balance is going, we are setting ourselves up to get hurt, to fight, to have an issue, all of those things. So we walk around with these phones attached to us in our ears where we can't hear. And I think about 20 years ago when I had my barn, and it was a little more than 20 years ago, 2000, 23 years ago. And, I had a landline, and I didn't bring my cell phone out to the barn with me. I didn't even have the cell phone near me. I'd go in my house, and there I would make my phone calls and get on my computer and check my emails, and wow, how simple it was. Now we live in a world where it's like, if you don't answer people within 5 seconds, they're off to the next, or they get frustrated, or whatever the case may be. But when you're in the world with animals, they need you there for that time that you're in their space, because it's a connection, it's training, it's educating, it's safety. And if you're not focused in on what's going on, especially with a 1,200-pound animal, you're asking for trouble. And I don't have half-dead horses that don't react. My horses, they're all reactive, whether they're young or old. They're athletes. They need a connection. They have a brain. They think. They need you to be there to help guide them, or they do their own thing, which, yeah, that's fine when the horses have been trained and you can, feel safe in an environment with them. But even still, you should always be focusing on the horse. So here's the thing. It's one thing to be listening to music, but you really need to be listening to the horse. These animals need us to show them and to guide them what we want. They are here to please. They want to please us. And if we don't give them the majority of our undivided attention, they're off doing other things in their brain. And if you don't have that inside eye paying attention to you, you got a problem that could arise, and potentially you could get hurt. Like we used to say, if you don't have the inside eye, and you don't have the inside shoulder, you don't have the inside rib cage, and you don't have the inside hind leg, you get this. So you need all those pieces to be focusing in on you, whatever side you're on. And ideally, the eye goes, the shoulder falls into you, and the rib cage and the hind end are non-existent. And this is what you get. So do we want to continue to walk around disconnected with our horses? I mean, yeah, occasionally. I even noticed if I had the phone, if I pick up my phone in the barn, my stallion starts banging his toys because he wants my attention. If I pick up my phone in the kitchen, my dog growls at me because she wants attention. If I pick up my phone, my cat tries to push it out of my hand. What are we doing with our relationships with our animals? And then, what are we doing with our relationships with humans? Everybody needs connection. Undivided attention at times. These phones, they're great, but you better know how to balance them, or just be as lost as everything else in this world. Kind of makes me sad, but at least I figured it out. Undivided attention, and these phones are not allowing it, if we allow the phones to take over. Epiphany number whatever, 10.